Gambling is wrong. None of these bet picks are financial advice.
Alright, what is up, everybody? We are back for this week's UFC Fight Night, Plessis versus Usman. Now, regarding last week, I told you we weren't going to touch the Conor McGregor versus Holloway fight. I didn't give too many reasons into it other than McGregor hadn't fought in 5 years. That was crazy. That's all I'm going to say about it. Crazy. That's why we didn't touch the fight. For anyone that bet on Holloway, good for you. If you bet on McGregor, that sucks. Going into this week, we will cover last week's misses and hits. So I gave y'all the lock of the week. That was Gable Steveson by KO. He got it done in round one. Pretty dominant performance. Gable Stevenson's going to be fun to watch going forward. The second fight we bet on was our DEGEN bet. It was Terrence McKinney versus King Green. Terrence McKinney almost got it done in the first round. It was close. It was very close. That's why it was the DEGEN bet. Now, do I think he could have gotten it done? I think he should have. I think it was close. He had King Green hurt on his back. Went for the submission for whatever reason. Think he could have got it finished if he just kept with the ground and pound, but he didn't. King Green gets back up, knocks him out. Loner Kavanaugh almost got it done as well. He stung Royval many times. Had him dropped a couple times, and then ends up giving his back to Royval. Royval chokes him out. Then we go into the Krylov versus Whitaker fight. I was dead wrong. Hand up accountability. Man enough to say it. Got it wrong. Whitaker's a dog. I didn't think he had that dog in him at 205, but he's a dog. He is. And from here on out, I'm going to be excited to watch his fights at light heavyweight. He's a very fun guy to watch striking, and he beat the hell out of Krylov. It was dominant performance from Whitaker. He definitely made the jump up to 205 and made it work. Then we look at the man, Paddy the Baddy. Told y'all he was going to get a submission win. Did not think it was going to come that early, but he got it done. We knew that they were going to tag each other up. As soon as BSD felt the power from Baddy, I think that's whenever he went for the takedown. And then Paddy the Baddy, the man he is, I told y'all, his jiu-jitsu is underrated. He hadn't submitted anybody in a while, and he got it done on BSD. And so that recaps our fights from last week. Let's get into this week's fights. All right, for fight night, Plessis versus Usman, we are going to start off with our DEGEN bet. We are going to take Stuart Nikali money line. That is at plus 680. So the reason why he has not won a fight in the UFC, and you cannot ignore the law of due. This guy's due. Do I think he's a complete fighter? Maybe. But you cannot ignore the law of due. He is due for a win. And at plus 680, why not make the DEGEN bet? I like Stuart Nikal plus 680 money line. Just take him to win the fight. Doesn't matter submission, KO, or decision. We're taking Stuart. Let's go, Big Stu. All right, for the next pick, we have our lock of the weekend. UFC Fight Night, Plessis versus Usman. Our lock is going to be the undefeated 10-0 Tommy McMillan. This is what we're going to go with. Not just him to win the fight, Tommy McMillan by knockout. Give it to me. I want it. He's got 4 knockouts right now. I want a 5th. He's got 5 submissions. I want the 5th knockout. Tommy McMillan by knockout. That is your lock. All right, for this next fight we're looking at for UFC Fight Night, Plessis versus Usman, we are going to be talking about the Chase Hooper-Mitch Ramirez fight. Now, with talking about the law of due, both these guys in their last 2 fights ended in knockout. They both lost by knockout in their last 2 fights. So, if you're bringing up the law of due, this is any man's game. This might be a draw, for all we know. But, if this fight goes to the ground, I got Chase Hooper by submission. If this fight stays standing, I got Mitch Ramirez by knockout. I think this fight is going to go to the ground, so I am going to take Chase Hooper by submission for this fight for our 3-leg parlay. Alright, for the next fight we are looking at of UFC Fight Night, Du Plessis versus Usman. We are looking at the two guys on the card that are paired up with quite possibly the hardest names to pronounce. So I'm going to call him Jean Paul, and I'm going to call the other guy Ko, because I can't pronounce Jean Paul's last name, and I cannot pronounce Ko's first name. But regardless, we are going to be adding this fight into our three-leg parlay. This will be our points pick. Give me Ko by points. For the last fight of UFC Fight Night, Du Plessis versus Usman, we are looking at Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Now, Jared Cannonier is 12 years older than CLD, and CLD is coming off of a 4-fight win streak. Cannonier lost to decision in his last fight, and right now, we're looking at this fight, I see it to just stay standing. Jared Cannonier is a striker. Christian Leroy Duncan in his last 4 fights has won 2 by knockout. I'm taking CLD for the third fight of our three-leg parlay to win by knockout. To recap these UFC Fight Night Du Plessis versus Usman picks, we have Christian Leroy Duncan at KO, and that is sitting at plus 170 at the time of recording. We have Chase Hooper by submission, that's plus 160 at the time of recording. And then we have Ko by points, that's plus 130 at the time of recording. Now, what I'm going to do is make a parlay of all 3 of these picks, and then I'm going to make a straight bet of each of these picks. Then, for our lock of the weekend, we have Tommy McMillan by KO. That's sitting at plus 250 at the time of recording. And then we have our DEGEN Bet is Stuart Nicol at plus 730. It's going up as I'm recording this video. This is insane. We got some money. We got some value picks. All right, before we close out, I do want to talk about Du Plessis versus Usman. I don't want y'all to think I ignore the main event each weekend. I see this fight to go either way. I think this fight goes to the ground. I really don't want to see Du Plessis just ragdoll Usman the whole time. I'd like to see Usman get up from the takedowns, because he's going to go to the ground, but get up from the takedowns, start throwing some strikes, make Du Plessis really have to think about entering into the pocket and getting into some dirty boxing with Usman. And if Usman can stay at distance, I think he can get the knockout. But if this fight does go to the ground, I see Du Plessis just kind of dragging Usman around. But then again, Usman's got great wrestling. If he can get up from Du Plessis and get away from him on the ground and scramble, and they stay standing, I see Usman winning by knockout. But if I had to make a pick, I'm going to take Kamaru Usman to win this fight.